Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. I want to talk to you about something I think is really important to try to get a grasp on when it comes to the cryptocurrencies. What's happening with what's going on with the cryptocurrencies right now, and what's likely to happen moving forward, the big picture, so you can position yourself. And the one thing that I'm doing right now by looking at the future, or looking at the past, to see what the future is likely to bring when it comes to the crypto market, and how I'm personally positioning it to benefit from the crypto market. Because I believe the crypto market, now it may not be Bitcoin, but there's a few things that I want to talk about here, but I believe the crypto market is going to be one of the greatest bull markets we've ever seen. But it may not be now. And let me actually explain what I mean here. There's a few things that's gone through my mind when it comes to the crypto market. And you guys may agree or disagree, but obviously we're looking at Bitcoin right now on the charts. And we've got Ethereum, and we've got all these other cryptos right now that we can invest in, right? I think there's like what, 8,000. Let me know your number one crypto that you like right now, and see what's going on there. But here's a few things, guys, that I really want you to think about when it comes to the crypto market and this digital space that's happening right now. And by looking at the past, we can see what's likely to happen moving forward, so we can position ourselves properly to benefit properly from one of the greatest wealth opportunities that's happening just underneath our feet, or will be happening just underneath our feet. But there's a few things that I want to talk about. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is, I actually want to draw this on here. The first thing I want to talk to you about is, actually, no, forget drawing it. I'll just look at you guys. The first thing I want to talk to you about is people obsession with Bitcoin, right? You may love Bitcoin right now, and you may love some of the cryptocurrencies right now. You may love Ethereum. You may love some of the other ones. Maybe Cardano. Elon Musk loves Cardano, right? So there is a lot of things that's happening with the Cardano, right? Or that, and Dogecoin, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things that's happening out there right now when it comes to these crypto markets. Now, the first thing that I really want you to maybe just try to keep an open mind of what's happening right now. The first big coin that's hit the market, which we know is Bitcoin, right? But I want you to think about Bitcoin, but I don't want you to think about Bitcoin as being the be all and end all, and that's the main thing that's going to be out there. If you look at that Bitcoin being the be all and end all, I want you to think about this, is that Bitcoin was the first major sort of cryptocurrency to be big, right? The real big dominant one. But if you look back over time and in the past, we can see that the big first dominant player wasn't always the best player in the long run. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be the dominant player in the long run. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not saying that we're not likely to see another big bull market in Bitcoin. I'm not saying that it's not going to last. But the first thing I want to mention on is that if we ever look back over history, like how can we look at history to see what's likely to happen moving forward and what could potentially happen moving forward, so we can protect ourselves anyway. The first thing I want to talk to you about with that is that if you look at the time over history, right? If you look at the social media, what was first? It was MySpace, wasn't it? MySpace was the big dominant player there for a while, wasn't it? It was the first on the space. It was a very big dominant player for a while. But then along came Facebook, and Facebook took over and took MySpace out of business. Now, that could potentially happen with Bitcoin, because we know there's still a lot of things wrong with Bitcoin, right? And they're still sluggish, and we know that there could be another coin just released just around the corner that could be 10 times faster, and so on and so forth. Makes sense when it comes to transaction. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is just that. And if you look at, say, even search engines, the Yahoo search engine was the first on the rank, right? That they were like, oh, Yahoo, right? Search engine. But then guess what happened? Guess what came? Google, and then Google dominated Yahoo, and Yahoo's like, who uses Yahoo? I don't think many people use Yahoo at all when it comes to that. So I really want you to think about that, guys. I'm not saying either way. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's not going to last. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to take it over. But I try to keep an open mind. I try to keep an open mind to not be all in when it comes to these crypto markets, because just like in history, is that we can see that some new technology or something better, something faster comes and initially overcomes that dominant player. Now, it may be the Ethereum platform. The Ethereum platform with another crypto may overtake Bitcoin. So I know there's a lot of big dominant players right now that are investing into Bitcoin. But I just want you to be careful about thinking about the long term of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin being the number one thing out there. The second thing I want to talk to you about, number two thing I want to talk to you about, is I want you to think about the crypto market, the whole crypto market, all the different crypto markets, and think back about how this is so like the .com era. And if we can see the new technologies coming on board, which was the internet, which is only 20 years ago now. 20? 20? Maybe, I don't know. Right? If we could think about that as in like, okay, so back in the .com days, it was this new thing, right? It's like, oh, people are not sure. It's like, what's going on here? Right? It was the internet. It's like, what is this internet fad thing majiggy, right? And guess what happened? Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of companies came in. The stock market, the tech market went absolutely just bonko, right? And there was thousands and thousands and thousands of companies out there that you could invest in as we went through a couple of year bull market in the tech sector, right? But guess what inevitably happened? And I'm not saying this is happening right now. It could be. But eventually what happens is that we get this massive washing away, don't we? Where you see a massive collapse across all cryptocurrencies, or should I say, back then, you got a massive collapse of what? Most of the companies out there. And so most of the companies got this collapse of the .com bust, so to speak. 80 to 90% of the Nasdaq went down. 90+% of the companies that were out there got washed away because they were just really not really good companies. And there was only a handful of companies that 10, 20 years later are a major part of our lives. And that's what I see happening again. If we just study these cycles in history, we can see the same that's happening right now with this new thing, which is cryptos and digital space. If we take this from it's just the new invention, right? The new invention was the internet, and the exact same thing that played out. Big boom, big bust, big washing out. Most of them went away. There was a handful that stayed, and then 20 years later, they're a major part of our life. That's what's likely to happen with the crypto market. So for me personally, guys, and call me nuts, and I'm not saying this is the right or wrong thing to do, and if anyone that's already involved with crypto market, I'm not telling you to sell or buy or do anything like that. What I am saying is this, is that for me personally, I see that there's a massive greatest wealth opportunity right now to, if you're not in the crypto market, to not chase the crypto market, but wait for that washing out period. Now that washing out period may not happen for another few years, but we are going to see a big, massive washing out period because it has to be. Again, guys, like I think last time I saw was like 8,000 coins out there. 8,000 cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrency mania is just going nuts. I just saw someone recently on Facebook who I know who's in the network marketing. He's now creating his own coin. It's like, this is such a massive bubble, and this is going to end badly for most people. I just had a coffee with a friend of mine, and she just put $5,000 in, and she's already down, $1,500, whatever percent of that is in the crypto market. Make sense? So if we look at this from this perspective, and I'm only doing this, guys, to try to protect you, right? I want you to do well. I believe you can do so well out of the crypto market. But for me personally, what I'm doing, and I'm not saying that you should do it, for me personally, what I'm doing is I'm going to wait for that washing out period. For me to long-term buy and hold, that is. Long-term buy and hold. I may trade it because there may be some trading opportunities, which I did. I actually traded Ethereum last year, and when I traded it from 400 to roughly around 1,000, and it was around about 1,000, wasn't it? Let me just double check here. Yeah, it was around about 1,000. Yeah, I didn't write it up that much. So I didn't actually capture. I know it went to 4,000, but I didn't capture that. But my trading, for a trading opportunity where I got in, got out, active, Yeah, it went from 400 to 1,000, and that was my trading opportunity done. But as a long-term investing opportunity, one thing I really want you to think about is that, and one thing I'm doing is I'm going to wait for that washing out period, because there will be that washing out period. There has to be, right? There's just too much stuff going on in this crypto market right now. And I'm waiting for that blood on the street side of thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an account, and on that account, I'm going to split that up to maybe look at the, when there's massive blood in the street, I'm going to look at the, say, top 20 cryptos at that time when there's massive blood on the street, and I'm going to invest maybe in the top 20 and split up my account across top 20, and that's going to be my buy and hold for 10, 20 years. Probably 5, maybe even half, probably going to be 5 of those are going to be absolutely stellars, just like we saw right now with Amazon and Apple, you know, and so on and so forth right now that were created back then. So this is what I'm doing, guys. I believe there's going to be amazing investing opportunities here right now, but I truly believe there's going to be a massive washing out period. And I'm not saying it's going to be now, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's going to be now, and I'm not saying that we're likely to see, it's going to be now. But this is just my thoughts, guys, and this is what I see happening right now when it comes to the crypto market. And here's some things that I really, really want you to think about. Leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? And what do you think about what's happening right now? What's your top cryptocurrencies right now? And what do you see? So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Guys, I am running a webinar today, and if you would like to learn how I trade the markets, how I actually trade the markets for income, not invest just for long term, but how I actively trade the markets, then I'm teaching you on the webinar. I'm going to teach you exactly how I trade the markets. I'm going to teach you how I went from losing money to actually making money, the one thing. And also I'm going to teach you my scanning tool. I'm going to show you my scanning tool is how I can use technology, and how I only trade 1 hour per day every single day, and that has my trading done and dusted, so I can focus on serving and giving back and doing the other things. If you go to John's JOHNS livetraining.com, that's John JOHNS livetraining.com. There should be a link in the description. If you go click on that, guys, you'll be able to join my next training, and on that training I'll share with you all the details. And I promise you guys that, especially on the secret, I've got 3 secrets I'm going to share with you on that webinar. Especially secret number 1, if you are struggling in the market right now and you are not doing really well in the markets right now, I promise you, secret number 1 will show you the light on why most people absolutely suck. 90% of you watching this right now, I guarantee you're losing money. And there's one thing, I promise you, there's one thing, the one secret that I had to learn that took me from losing a lot of money to actually start making money, and what I had to learn about, okay, what does it take to make money long term as a trader in these markets and not just investor. So if you click on the link in the description, guys, or if you go to johnsfreegift.com and johnslivetrading.com, John's JOHNS livetraining.com, and I'll see you on the webinar. Go to that right now, guys, and I'll see you real soon.